I kid you not, it is like Christmas has arrived. Oh my god, roll the titles. So amazing news, like really, really amazing news, and literally this has just been confirmed, and my hard work is starting to pay off. Love a bit of hard work, apparently. So let me take you back a little bit in time and tell you the whole story, and then I can tell you the good news. So if you remember a while back, I did a video on YouTube, and this is like going back a long time, and it was about people who are really good to follow on YouTube, and the first people that I mentioned was the channel on YouTube DepthVox. And what DepthVox had done was to have, well, not what they had done, what happened with them was that a film production crew got in touch, blah blah blah, they made a film. So the film is called The Right to Love, and for those of you who didn't see my last video or haven't seen the advertisement for the film, here it is.
California Supreme Court already said we were a protected class. They already said we were protected.
Never before has our Constitution been used to strip rights away.
Dear God, thank you for this meal that you set before us, and thank you for every day that you give to us as a family. Thank you for all the blessings that we have in life. Please take care of everyone out there in this world who needs your love and your strength and your grace today, and may your Spirit go with each one of us in our hearts. In the name of Jesus we pray. Thank you and amen.
You ready?
Yeah. Perfect.
Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Hey YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Hello YouTube. I was just hoping that people could see that, straight families aren't the only ones with family values. Daniel's first shaving lesson. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. It's kind of like me and Daddy Brian, huh? I remember the first time that I ever had any type of feelings towards Brian was we went and saw a movie. Daniel and Selena are biological brother and sister. And, she just has always only known two dads.
This is thousands of years old problems. You think a few videos in this time is going to change anything? Not really.
We voted. We went into the booth, voted Barack Obama and Prop 8.
And whether or not people like that or not, that's what the people want.
If you vote, things get overturned. What good is it in voting?
31 out of 31 times in 31 out of 31 states, voters voted it down.
It's the same playbook in every state.
It is not discrimination to treat different things differently.
Nothing to do with rights for homosexuals to marriage. It has everything to do with the destruction of the family.
Treated as if we're a sickness on society. They're okay with us being second-class citizens. Who will be the next people behind us?
No, we will not compromise. We will not accept fractions of equality.
It's about human dignity. Seeing that this person's just like me, flesh and blood, longing for love, longing for companionship, that's when hearts begin to change. That's when people realize there's nothing to fear.
I hope everybody finds that in somebody, because I never thought that I would ever have that. And I will never let go of that.
So that is The Right to Love, and I think I'd been following the DepthVox channel for about a year-ish, before that, or something like that. And basically, I was amazed by their story as it was. You know, their videos, they were just amazing for me, because at the time when I found their channel, I was actually looking myself into a gay family, and to see, you know, does a gay family actually exist? You know, what is it like? You know, what kind of people have a family? That sort of thing. And I came across their channel, and straight away I just fell in love with all of them. They are just the most nicest people you could ever want to meet. So this advert comes out, and it is obviously about the film, and you know, it looks really good. So I was like, oh my god, I really want to see this. So I remember putting in the comments, this looks really good, when is it coming out? Is it coming out to the cinemas? What's happening? And I think it was Jay that wrote back to me, commented back, and said that basically the film was going to be touring around like film festivals and that sort of thing. And in the back of my mind I was like, that's pretty rubbish, because I'm not going to get to see it, because I presume it'll just be going around America. I got in touch with them over the email, and Jay kind of put it to me in really basic terms, and he was like, listen, if you want to see this, then you'll have to do some work for it, you know, like try contacting film festivals, and you know, if you can get their contact details, I will ring them and I'll do what I can, and we'll try and get it on in England for you. So I did that. I contacted a load of film festivals, and I set up a Facebook page which was Right to Love UK Showing, and the aim of that page was to sort of build up a community of people in the UK who wanted to see this film, and to have it as like a team effort to get this film on. So I was posting a load of things, and people were liking it. I think the page as it stands has like 26 or 27 people like it, but that's not really anything major. Although the link is below, please like it. And yeah, so it wasn't really proving to be a team effort, and I thought, well, you know what, screw it, I still want to see this. So I got in touch with a load of film organisations over here, and put the film forward to some of them. You know, I was sending them the advert that was on YouTube, I was sending that to them, and some of them were just really, really awkward. I mean, it was like, you know, some of them, I remember one of them, they were saying that their next film festival was going to be in the August of 2012, but if you wanted to submit a film to them, for them to have this panel make up their mind as to whether they want to show it, you kind of had to show it like 3 months ago to them. So I'd missed the date, and I was just like, what? This is crazy. So eventually I got all no's back from them, and I was just like, oh, well, screw you. So I still really wanted to see this film, so I thought, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to have to hire a place, and we'll just do it ourselves. So I got in touch with a couple of people, because I started looking into the cost of this thing, and I was just like, you know what, I don't have any money to put this on. And when I was messaging Jay and Brian about this, one of the things that Jay made really clear to me is that this film isn't to be shown as like a profit making thing. You know, if anyone's going to make any profit off this, it's kind of them, like the LeFou family, or the producers of the film, like Cassie and everyone like that. So I was like, you know what, that's fair enough. So I got in touch with a couple of people about funding, and one of the people who I went to, because obviously the film is kind of centered around the LGBT community and that sort of thing, so I got in touch with the people at Manchester Pride, and I just simply sent them an email, and I was like, you know what, I'm trying to get this film shown, I have no money to get this film shown, but I really, really want to see it, and they do have a number of fans over here in the UK who will want to see the film as well. Manchester Pride got back to me, I think it was the day after, and they were like, that looks amazing, like, we really want to get this on. If you do it as part of Pride, then we might be able to help out with like the money side of things, getting this thing on, but you'll still have to organise it. And I was just like, head to the moon, oh my god. So one of the places that they suggested was this private cinema, and the cinema was amazing. It had like this really big stage, massive widescreen, and it could seat like 400 people at a time, and it was really, really, it would have been amazing to have it there, don't get me wrong, really, really good. But then I get in touch with one of the women, well, the woman who does like the organising of events there and everything like that, and she said, you know, we can show the film, but it has to have been rated. It has to have something like a cinema release license. I think that's what they called it. It had to have, oh my god, it had to meet so many different criterias, and I was like, you know what, okay, I will look into it. So I looked into it, and I looked into getting this cinema release license, which it would never be used, because I think I'm pretty right in assuming this film isn't going to be released into cinemas. I think if anything it's going to go from like the film festivals to DVD. I don't know. So when I got to like the final cost of this thing plus a cinema charge as well, it was like over £3,000, and I was like, that's not going to happen. But it didn't stop me. I applied to a couple of different film funding places, and all of them got back to me. They're like, no. So I was like, okay. And then Jay came up with the idea, and he's like, well, you know what, just try and find someone to sponsor the event. You know, like it could be a company that wants to promote something, it could be a company wanting to do something for a bit of good, for, you know, some good publicity, that sort of thing. So I got in touch with a number of companies. The ones that got back to me all said, you know, we're really sorry, but we can't do this because there isn't enough people going. So after about 4 or 5 months, and I was really getting nowhere, and you know, I was still in touch with the people at Manchester Pride, and they were still kind of excited about this thing going ahead. And I was like, well, you know, I can't really justify spending all that money when I've no doubt there will be extra costs down the road anyway. But in order for that to happen, the tickets would have to be like £15, £20 a person, and it would just be completely stupid to try and charge that much to go and see this film, because I'm not saying it's not worth it, of course it completely is, and anyone who's in the UK and who wants to go and see this film will agree with me, you know, it is worth it, but that puts people off. And obviously when you're trying to run an event where a majority of the audience you're going to be introducing to this family for the first time, they're not going to really want to spend £20 to go and see a film at a cinema. They're not that crazy. So I abandoned that idea altogether, and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. It was around about this time that Jay and Brian started posting on Facebook and YouTube and all this sort of stuff about them having the first showing in the Castro Theatre, and something just went ping in the back of my mind, and I was like, oh my god, Brainwave, hire a theatre. You know, it's not a cinema, they don't have to have the same licenses, that sort of thing. So I got in touch with a company called the Xeon Arts Centre in Manchester, and these people are really, really cool. I got in touch with them, I explained to them about the film, I sent them, you know, like the press pack and everything like that, and they seemed really up for it, and they said, you know, there are going to be some costs involved, but because you are doing this as like a kind of fundraising thing or kind of not-for-profit, we will reduce our costs, so we will do you at the charitable rate. So basically you won't have to charge as much to people who want to come in, and you will, if anything, be able to make more money and give it back to Manchester Pride, that sort of thing. So I was like, oh my god, okay, that's brilliant. So I was like, okay, keep me in mind, I will book you at some point, I don't know when. A couple more months go by, and Manchester Pride, they send me the application form to send off this grant and everything like that. I send it back to them. My friend, well, I call him my friend, I've still never met him, my contact Dan at Manchester Pride, when he looked through the application, he got back to me over a couple of points, and the application went through. I got an email last week off Manchester Pride saying, and this bit honestly, it broke my heart at the beginning. The email basically came to me and it said, you know, after consideration, and please bear in mind that we have had a load of applications here, unfortunately we're not going to give a grant to this. However, and then this is when my heart just went, ooh, and they said we will underwrite the cost of this. So I was just like, oh my god, this is going to happen, OMG. So they said about the amount of money that they were going to give, and literally, I think it was like 2 days after getting that email, I went off to go and see the theatre for myself because I wanted to see what it was like. I was telling Jay and Brian about it, and Jay got back to me and he was like, you know what, I want to see what this theatre's like as well. If you can get some video of it or some pictures or something, send them back because I want to see what this is like. And just a little side note at this point as well, Jay has said to me, like a couple of times in the past now, that him and the rest of the family and, you know, other people in the involved in the making of the film would absolutely love to come over here to the UK to see it. And I think to actually quote Jay on what he said that he would love for nothing more than to be able to sit and watch the film with like his British subscribers, you know, subscribers who he doesn't get to see that often, or, you know, might have never met him before, that sort of thing. And he would absolutely love for that to happen. But we'll come on to that in another time. So, yeah, so I go and see this theatre, I fall in love with it, get back, the next day I get in contact with Manchester Pride and I'm like, you know what, I found this venue, blah blah blah, this is the cost. The cost of the film, kind of, to actually be honest with you, the amount that Manchester Pride are underwriting this whole project for, the cost of hiring the theatre actually comes in at £4 under budget. So I was just like, right, slightly screwed here now. So yeah, so I got in contact with Jay and Brian about it, and I was like, we've got the theatre, it's booked. And they were of course over the moon. And then Jay said, well, okay, the next step that you need to do is you need to contact the production crew, you know, like Cassie and everyone like that side, because they might have to issue you with a license, or there might be a fee to pay for you to show this film. So I was like, oh god. And again, it was one of them things where it's like hard. But I got in contact with Cassie and explained to her the situation and everything that's happening. Cassie got back to me, and honest to God, she again does seem like the nicest woman ever. She got back to me and she said, you know what, it's great that, you know, you're trying to do this for us, and we're made up because we think that this could actually be the first showing of the film in the UK, you know, and it would be the first one on an international basis. Like, oh my god. So she explains to me about the whole license process and like what comes with what and what to do and all this sort of stuff. However, I don't have the money to pay for a license. So I kind of sent her this little plea, and I was just like, you know, I know that there is a license to pay for, but I really don't have the money. So any way that we can like buy a license with the money that we sell from the tickets, because you have to have one of these licenses to be able to sell tickets for one of their events, otherwise you're not going to get a copy of the film. You can have all these people turn up and it was like, yeah, they didn't send me the DVD, bye. So then, yes, so I got a lovely email back off her, and she said, okay, normally the rules are that you have to have a license before you can go ahead and sell tickets, but, you know, because you have been working at this and, you know, you've put a bit of effort into it, we'll bend the rules a little bit for you. So she explained the whole process to me, and I was just like, oh my god, give me your hand, I'm going to bite it off. I totally want that offer. So, as of today, I can officially announce that we are green lights all round to go ahead and start selling tickets for the UK showing of Right to Love, An American Family. Oh my god, so happy right now. Oh my god. And literally, I have just thrown my laptop down on the floor and been like, I've got to go and tell YouTube about this, because I'm just so happy. Oh my god. So okay, so yes, tickets. What's next? Okay, so the design of the tickets and like things like the cost of the tickets and that sort of thing, I've got to confirm with the theatre, and then they'll be like going to print and blah 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 blah. So the tickets, I think, are going to be available in a couple of days, but don't quote me on that. But keep checking back to this video, because as soon as the tickets are available, I will be putting the link to them in the video description below. However, all as I can say is there really is a limited number of seats. So if you think you're going to be able to come, please get your tickets straight away. If you don't think you're going to be able to come, then get tickets anyway. And just, it's going to be literally amazing if you guys can make it. If not, then that's fair enough. But this is like the first showing of The Right to Love in England, in the UK, in any other part of the world apart from America. So, oh my god, I did it. So, of course, now it comes to the part where I kind of have to explain a little bit of something to you. So, you know how I said earlier on that Jay and Brian and the rest of the LaFew family, and like I presume Cassie and the rest of the production crew, will all want to come over for the screenings, because there are going to be 2 screenings. We have run up against a bit of a brick wall when we've come to this, because they're all on the other side of the world and we're not, but we are to them. We're not, if you're in, anyway. So yeah, so I've been looking into this, and because now there are I don't know if I can say this, I'm going to say it anyway, but there is now 5 members to the LaFew family. And you know, when Jay first said, you know, of course we would love to come over, and me and Jay were messaging each other on Facebook, and I think literally both of us were on Google at the same time going, flights from San Francisco to Manchester, how much? And then you find the price, and the lowest price that I've been able to find is, I think on the website it said that it is because it was converting it from dollars to pound sterling, because obviously the journey starts in America, so blah blah blah. The cheapest one is around about £679 per person, and that is like the basic flight. And if you times that by 5, you kind of get to my answer, which was, I can't afford this. So I mean, of course, if you guys watching this want to pay for them to come over, I'm sure they will be very thankful, and we'll probably be able to get you a couple of free tickets for the show. But you don't have to pay like 3,000 something. It would be, wouldn't it? It'd just be just over 3,000. I don't know how much it'd be, but yeah. So 679 times 5 comes to a lot. So we will give you a couple of tickets for the event, but you don't have to if you don't want to, but you can do. I'm not saying anything. So yeah. So as much as like I would love for all of them to come over here, and especially since the event is part of Manchester Pride as well, you know, it gives them a chance to like be over here to see what one of our prides are like, you know, because they've obviously been to the San Francisco ones and that sort of stuff. So it would be amazing for them all to come over and see what we're like, and obviously be here for the first lot of screenings of Right to Love in the UK. But I don't think that's really going to be happening, because what you've got to bear in mind with this is that, you know, although there is licenses and everything involved, the film is still a not-for-profit. You know, I mean, if it was, I'm quite sure that Jay and Brian would be completely and utterly rolling in money by now, as would the production crew, and they would all just be like, oh yes, we'll fly business class over and stay for a month. Oh, I don't know why they'd stay for a month, but they probably would. And greatness will happen. But unfortunately, nobody is actually that well off. So, yeah, we're kind of screwed. So they might not be coming. But fingers crossed, we find an anonymous donor who's like a millionaire, and they donate like millions to the cause, and then we love them lots forever. So apart from that, what do you think of my news? Isn't it good? I am just over the moon, and I really hope that you guys are too as well. So, like I said, what I've done is I've put the link below to the Facebook page for Right to Love, the UK showing. Please, please, please like it yourselves and get your friends to like it as well. You can recommend the page to your friends and it comes up as a little notification for them. It does now work, trust me. There was a whole issue on Facebook and blah blah blah, but it works. I will also be posting on the Facebook page and obviously in the video description below the link for tickets as and when they come up. And the other great news is, of course, Jay and Brian are now aware that this is going ahead. We've got all green lights, so they will be jumping over the moon as well as me. Maybe we'll meet. Do you reckon I could bring them back? I don't know. Interesting thought. But speaking of interesting thoughts, I've got a whole mind full of mentalness and my brain is kind of going into celebration mode at the moment, and I don't have enough vodka. So that is my news for now. Thank you very much for watching, and keep checking back for the video description, and I will see you guys later. My finger just clicked. That was really camp, wasn't it? Ugh.